I'm David Hoffman, and this is my second Precedent report on Louis Sullivan's Carson, Pirie, Scott building in downtown Chicago. The Carson, Pirie, Scott building on State Street in Chicago is one of the most architecturally significant works of Louis Sullivan's career, as well as a defining structure in the history of American architecture. It came at a time when the idea of a steel-structured commercial building was still a new concept and need of a defining aesthetic appeal. Essentially, Louis Sullivan and the Carson, Pirie, Scott building brought an architectural appeal to a new technology. This is a rendering of the finished building in 1906. The necessity to commission the Carson, Pirie, Scott building can be traced back to the nature of the city of Chicago itself. Since the city was situated on a trade border between the Eastern industrial civilization and the frontier west, Chicago acted as a trade hub between the two. This relationship favored a retail economy, and as such, department stores flourished in downtown Chicago, especially on State Street. This is a diagram of downtown Chicago in the early 20th century. The darkened squares are department stores lined up along State Street. The Carson, Pirie, Scott building is one of the ones in the top right. Originally known as the Schlesinger and Meyer building, the Carson, Pirie, Scott building was built during this trend towards retail department stores. It was because of this immediate demand for a department store and retail goods that the Carson, Pirie, Scott building had to be built around the existing Schlesinger and Meyer store located on its site. This enabled the store to stay open throughout the Christmas season. The building was also constructed in 3 distinct phases. The first phase was completed in 1899 and consisted of the first 9 floors, including the first 2 floors, which were covered in the ornamental ironwork displayed here. And here. And here. And here. The second phase included an additional 3 floors and would finish by 1904. After the building had been sold to Carson, Pirie, Scott, the company commissioned D.H. Berman & Co. to add another section to it. Although they did not commission Sullivan for this work, they did stay true to Sullivan's design, and in 1906 even wrote him a recommendation, saying, "The high taste and skill of Mr. Louis H. Sullivan are well expressed in the beautiful design and general style of this structure, and we gladly add our words of approval to his skill and success as an architect." This is an advertisement for the windows used in the first 2 floors of the building. They would reflect more light inside, allowing interior space to be lit more naturally. It was considerations like this that make the Carson, Pirie, Scott building a precedent in today's architecture. Every steel building, and even the modern skyscraper, has its roots in the Carson, Pirie, Scott building. Since this building is often seen as the culmination of Sullivan's career, it has directly impacted and forever changed the world of architecture. Sullivan's work influenced Frank Lloyd Wright, whose designs challenged architectural conventions, and the Carson, Pirie, Scott building ultimately influenced what would come to be known as modernism in the future.